Tonight, we highlight two great nonprofit organizations doing amazing things in Baton Rouge, Alabama, LSU. It all happens this weekend, but we'll begin tonight talking about that storm water fee. Roll it, Kyle. Well, it's a story that you have not been able to get away from, and it involves a storm water fee. In early October, the Mayor-President's office announced to the Metro Council that this fee was going to impact residents in East Baton Rouge Parish, specifically those in the city of Baton Rouge and in the unincorporated areas. Somewhere along the way, there was discussion about a non-disclosure agreement that was presented to the Metro Council. Congressman Garrett Graves said no such agreement existed. So then the controversy started. Was there ever an NDA? Now, the Mayor-President's office explained that they were advised by the parish attorney's office that there was. Members of the Metro Council were all up in arms on both sides of the aisle about it. So tonight, we're going to talk with one of those members, Dwight Hudson, representing Metro Council District 9. Listen, so before I tell you where I am on this, I want to find out when did you first hear about this and when did it break down?
Yeah, so the plan was presented to the council in mid-September, and so that's when we first got our first glimpse of what the mechanics of a plan. Our feedback to the mayor at that time was twofold. One, can you reach out to Congressman Graves' office to see if we can buy some more time with the federal government? And then two, what is your communication strategy between now and when we vote on the creation of the utility district and an eventual fee? Unfortunately, those conversations with Congressman Graves never happened. And then two, the communications plan was really non-existent, right? So you will have eventually seen several public meetings throughout the parish. Those were really initiated by council members though, right? So we felt we had an obligation to go out to the public, get feedback, get input, let folks know how the plan was going to work and that type of thing. So that was really the first couple of red flags for us, right? Was those lack of due diligence kind of from jump on this one.
So now the request was for $46.2 million, right? And that broke down as $40 million for operation and maintenance, $3.3 million for operating services, $1.6 million for cash financed capital investments, and a little north of $1.1 million for billing and remittance. So it was then determined that there was something about a non-disclosure agreement, and according to WBRZ, some council members had been approached about signing an NDA, but refused. Were you one of them?
Yeah, so I refused from the beginning. My feedback to the administration, to the parish attorney's office was, look, this was presented to us first as a gag order, right, which means an order from a judge, non-negotiable. Later, it was discovered, we asked for clarity, and it was told that it was an NDA, and presented as an NDA between us and the federal government. So my feedback was that these are both taxpayer-funded organizations. Both of us should be able to be open and transparent about the way that we're operating taxpayer funds. And if we're signing an NDA between two government entities, that's a problem. So to my knowledge, all the council members refused to sign it. And that left us at a disadvantage because we were not able to get some very important information about the plan.
So here's the thing, and I've known Sharon Broome for a very long time. I don't believe she would stand before the council and just outright lie. I just don't believe it.
I would agree with that, absolutely.
So somewhere along the way, there was a miscommunication because this is something that's not that difficult to prove, right? It's like saying your house has a roof when it doesn't. I mean, clearly, eventually, that's going to bear out. So what broke down along the way?
I think what ultimately broke down was the strained timeline, right? In my opinion, that strained timeline existed because of a lack of communication and a lack...
Between who?
Between us and the federal government, between the mayor's office and the federal government, between city parish and the federal government, but also our failure to engage our federal partners. Look, I know you've had Congressman Graves on the show many times, and not just Congressman Graves, he's kind of been the focus here, but look at Senator Cassidy, Senator Kennedy, Congressman Carter. look, all of those folks would be ready, willing, and able to help East Baton Rouge Parish go out and work with the federal government to give us some more time to get the plan right, and then go out and pitch it to the public.
Got about a minute. Where is this now? Because I know that there were calls recently for Andy Dotson to be removed. That failed because the vote wasn't unanimous. In about 30 seconds, where are we now?
So we're still doing a lot of efforts to figure out what went wrong with the plan, and there's a lot of public information requests going on about that. But what I don't want to lose sight of is the fact that we still have to deal with our MS4 permit. We still have to deal with flooding and that type of thing.
I want to have you back. The mayor is attending a canvas trip right now with the chamber. I want to get her or someone from our office on to talk with us more about this. Thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Councilman Hudson. The big game is this weekend, and we'll talk about it with Matt Moscone next. You know, most of the time, I think it's better to have Matt here than Gordy. Let's see if this is one of those times.
Always better to have me than Gordy.
Oh, I'm sure you would say that. So this weekend is the big game, LSU versus Alabama. You know, I did a little research on this. The first meeting was here in Baton Rouge in 1895, November 18th. LSU won that game 12-6. And since that illustrious victory, Alabama's beaten us 55-25.
Yeah.
So
they've had the two best coaches in the history of college football roll through there.
So let's talk about how we don't get beaten like a garage sale couch this weekend.
I think the matchup, oddly, is one that LSU is built for. I'm a believer that styles make fights. Bryce Young is an awesome football player. He's the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. I think he's the best player in college football.
Oh, yeah.
LSU is so athletic in their defensive front seven. They can run sideline to sideline. Remember when LSU would play Texas A&M with Johnny Manziel? Mm-hmm. They dominated those matchups. Now, this isn't necessarily that, but they did such a great job of just building a little cocoon defensively around him and said, you can run around in this cocoon all you want, but you're not getting free. I think that's what they did to Bryce Young. And I think LSU's got a really good opportunity. You're not going to stop him. You're not going to shut him out. But this also isn't going to be a 9-6 game.
No.
LSU's not going to lose 10-0 like they did in 2016.
Right.
LSU's going to move the ball and score as well.
So, you know, we talked a couple times before the year started. We talked initially after Coach Kelly was hired, then right before the season started. I didn't believe he would fit here. Wrong about that, openly admitted. Going into this season, I thought, you know, he's a good coach. I thought, yeah, it would be okay, but temper expectations because you don't know. Number 10 in the nation now. 6 wins already, which a lot of us thought it would be only 6 wins overall. So what does this year tell you about what the future holds for him?
Well, it's certainly validating to his structure, the plan. I mean, the guy's been a head coach for over 30 years, and you've heard it, he's won everywhere he's been. The fit thing, I always push back against that. So look, the most successful coaches in LSU history, Skip Bertman, Jewish guy from Miami, Dale Brown, Minot, North Dakota. Mm-hmm. Nick Saban, guy from West Virginia, spent his whole career in the Midwest. All you got to do is win.
Yeah.
And Brian Kelly wins. Mm-hmm. So what this year has shown is he's gotten buy-in. He hires a great staff. Once he's able to build the roster to more what it looks like to be LSU, 1-85, and not just flooded with transfers to get through a year, yeah, he's going to win a national championship here.
I believe that. I really believe that. What do you think the outcome of the game is going to be? Make a prediction.
Alabama's still better than LSU, and they got the best coach ever, and I think they'll win the game. But I think it'll be a really competitive game, and you're probably looking at something like a 34-24 type range.
I said to you before we started the show that that LSU has a puncher's chance. You said it got better than a puncher's chance.
Keep in mind, real quick, Alabama has struggled the last 2 years on the road.
Yeah.
They almost lost at Texas this year. They did lose at Tennessee. Last year they lost at Texas A&M. They were on the ropes against Florida last year. Florida had a 2-point conversion to win that game last year. Bama has oddly struggled on the road the last 2 years.
You know, I wanted last weekend to dig a deep hole in my backyard to feel the ground because I'm just assuming hell is freezing over because Tennessee is #1 in the nation.
They're awesome.
Bruh.
They're awesome. I think they're going to beat Georgia this weekend, too.
Wow.
Tennessee's offense can score on anybody.
Yeah.
People here don't like the comparisons to 2019 LSU, and we won't see another 2019 LSU.
It's similar, though.
But that team beat 7 top 10 teams. This Tennessee team isn't going to have the opportunity to do that. But it's similar in the sense that they will score on anybody.
So let me ask you, Deion Sanders is at Jackson State University right now, and he's got a 25-5 record. Mollywopped my beloved Jags this past weekend.
Wow.
And we ain't talking about that. And I want to talk a little bit about his impact on HBCUs because of the attention. A massive turnout for ESPN Game Day last weekend. It was a really good look. What do you think his impact has been?
I don't know that you can even quantify it. To get College Game Day at a SWAC game, I don't know that that's happened before.
I don't believe so.
Unless maybe for a Bayou Classic in the past. But
yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. The attention that Deion has brought the league as a whole and HBCUs is, I think, immeasurable, and also the talent influx he's bringing into Jackson State. But the thing that's lost on it is Duke can coach.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's not just a name bringing in talent.
Yeah.
Like, they're good.
You know, one of the
they're really
things
good.
that I can appreciate about him, and I've got sometimes he's a little loud, but he calls out the absence of investment in facilities and the programs by the schools. And I know everybody doesn't like that, but I think to compete for kids in 2022, you have to give them infrastructure that helps them be at their best. And he's been able to do it, and he's had success doing it.
It's hard to get that investment when you don't necessarily have the revenue. But if anybody can get it, when Coach Prime calls, anybody's going to pick up the phone. So I think even if he's not at Jackson State for another 5 years or a year, I don't know, his impact will be lasting.
Man, AFR, for people who I don't know how you could not know about AFR, but in 15 minutes, tell everybody about After Further Review.
You said 15 minutes.
50 seconds.
If you can spell my name, you can find me, but I'm on weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
I'm laying odds on you not being able to spell his last name. It's Moscone. I think it took me about 6 tries, but I got it right. But then that was this morning. Back to talk about a great event. Stay where you are. The Elvin Howard Sr. Pancreatic Cancer Advocacy Foundation is having an event next weekend. Elvin Howard Jr., we call him Sonny, big old fella who works for the Baton Rouge Police Department, is also a member of the founding board of the organization. And before we get into the activities taking place next weekend, let's tell people about the Elvin Howard Sr. PCAF.
Well, it started with my father. My father, who's a Christian man, family man, and a farmer.
He used to work here at WBRZ.
He used to work here for 40 years, WBRZ. He next to God, family, and WBRZ, his cows came next.
Yeah.
And sometime in 2006, he was diagnosed with diabetes. And as time progressed, several months passed. My mom, who's a RN, who's a registered nurse, she noticed some differences in him and noticed that he was jaundiced. We called a doctor, and he went and got checked and found out he had pancreatic cancer. So he was diagnosed with diabetes first, late on in life, and we do have a history of diabetes in our family. So we wasn't surprised by the fact he was diagnosed with that.
Okay.
And shortly thereafter, he was actually given 6 months to live.
Wow.
He survived 18 months.
Wow.
Which we were very thankful for, that we had that extra time. But my mom developed this dream to start a foundation to help people who are suffering from pancreatic cancer and their caregivers.
It's amazing. I remember when first hearing about this, you and I were together for a community event in Dallas.
Right.
And you told me about the foundation, and I was just really, really impressed that you guys turned your pain into a purpose.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
What is your primary goal, or what are the primary goals of the foundation?
Well, the primary goals are to assist people who are suffering from pancreatic cancer. And last year we refined our mission to include people and communities, negative social determinants of health actually affects pancreatic cancer as well as other chronic diseases. So we wanted to focus on those social determinants. As you may know, that a lot of people in the community don't have access to good health care, don't have access to good nutrition. So those are the things that we're trying to let them know their body, and to also know develop a relationship with their doctor, with their primary care doctor, because a lot of times they go in and they accept what the doctor is telling them. So you have to be an advocate for not only the community, but for yourself.
I was looking at some numbers about pancreatic cancer. This year, an estimated 62,000 Americans will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and more than 49,000 will die from the disease. It's number 3 behind lung and colon cancer in terms of the
soon
deadliest.
To be number 2.
Soon to be number 2.
Right.
And when we were talking about it, and we've had a couple, because I volunteer on your advisory board, and you guys have shared information about how misdiagnoses could really shorten the time that someone has with their families. Is there any ground being made? You referenced in a second ago disinvested communities where they're everything from food deserts to sometimes lack of access to good health care. Have we made up the ground, you think, since your father has passed? I
think we have. Well, there's testing. There's another thing that a lot of families don't have access to, knowing trials and things that are going on in the world. Right now, they're working on the blood test to be able to test the blood to see if there's a trace of pancreatic cancer in the bloodstream.
So let's talk about next weekend's event. There is a gala at the Helix Academy. I can't wait to get to the details about that. But let's talk about the run.
Okay.
Tell me about it. What's going to happen?
November 19th, Baker, Louisiana. We'll be right there in front of the municipal building. It's a 5K run, 1 mile walk for those who don't want to get into on the road. It's going to be a friends and family day, though.
Yeah.
We're going to have Big Chief Carl Dunn. I'm not sure if anybody know him, but
most people do.
He'll be out cooking. So we're going to have services: Baton Rouge General, Pennington Cancer Research, Cancer Research Center, and other people, vendors that are out there that's setting up information so we can pass services on.
And you can help raise money for a great cause. But the week before that, not on Saturday, but on Friday night at Helix Academy, there's going to be the gala. Tell me about the gala.
The gala, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be at the Helix Aviation Center, like you said. We'll be in a big hangar. We'll have 2 planes in the background to set up the tone. It's going to be great. We're going to have survivors. We're going to honor
too.
Dr. Dudley, who's also an advisory board member who passed this past year. And so it's going to be nice.
Well, the flyer is up on the screen. I will be there actually serving as MC, working with old Ed Ball. Ed and I will get a chance to work together again. Looking forward to that. Quickly, I got about 15 seconds. Where can people find you online if they want to learn more about this?
Info at elvinhowardseniorpcaf.org.
And they're also on social media. All right. Who couldn't use a decorated pumpkin, especially if it's tied to a great cause? Got you covered. Going to tell you about it next. My good friend Dena Christy is the president and CEO of Family Road of Greater Baton Rouge, and it's pumpkin time in the Red Stick. Listen, y'all, Pumpkins for Pack and Plays taking place this weekend now. The first one was last weekend. You can go out and enjoy it. Look, the game, we know the big game is happening Saturday, but you can also go out on Sunday. And Dena, this is a great cause. So this one is at Calandro's, 4142 Government Street. Great location. You and I have been together out there.
Right.
Tell us about Pumpkins for Pack and Plays.
Well, Pumpkins for Pack and Plays was actually an idea and concept that came out of a tragedy. You know, during our hurricanes, we had many babies in shelters, and during that time, the primary way that you would care for them is in a box, you know, a place that you can put babies while you're in a shelter area. And so Tammy Duncan Swoop from Lamar, who was part of our board at the time, said, you know, we can do better than that. You know, hurricanes are things that come around all the time. Why don't we try and raise money to do pack and plays for families so that they can have a safe place for their babies to sleep? And with Family Road being a nonprofit organization that works with families, provides home visitation with our Healthy Start program to moms and dads, we are very much aware of SIDS and how having a safe place to sleep is very important. So with that, we were able to partner with Lamar, great artists, Evie and Cameron, and then also McKinley gifted and talented art students, as well as the Artists Guild, to paint beautiful pumpkins. And so when someone donates $60, which is about the price of a pack and play, with inflation has gone a little bit up, but if they can donate $60, then they can get a beautiful pumpkin as a thank you gift. We have beautiful sayings on there, from Happy Fall, y'all, to Happy Thanksgiving. We have our LSU and Southern pumpkins, as well as Saints.
But listen, but not just pumpkins. There are other things that you can purchase out there. Decorative pillows for your home. Framed items you can have out there. And really, it's a great cause. But I want to hit pause for a second. And for people who have never heard about Family Road, give me the quick elevator on what Family Road of Greater Baton Rouge is.
Well, Family Road of Greater Baton Rouge is a nonprofit organization. We've been around for about 24 years. We do everything from prenatal to parenting to job placement, education, counseling. One of our major programs is our Healthy Start program, which works with expecting moms and dads up to 18 months of age. So we do actual home visitation, everything from prenatal classes to car seat safety to fatherhood, all types of support. We also do health education, providing information to young adults about their bodies, about making good decisions, and making sure that they understand that there are many possibilities out there as long as you reach for your goals. So many different programs all in one place, and we do that by actually working with other agencies. We provide direct services, but we work with over 108 nonprofit, private, and government agencies that use our location for services.
I mean, I think it's amazing. And getting back to this, and you do this every year.
Every year.
I've been out there the last 2 years, I think. This will be my third year out there, and I'll actually be out there this weekend. So again, when you buy a pumpkin, you're actually making a donation.
It's actually a donation.
So how do you find the mothers that you give these to?
Well, for us, we are a nonprofit. We go everywhere from daycare centers to hospitals to mothers who are working with a variety of programs in the community to schools and working with the hospitals. So that's how we find our expecting moms. Healthy Start program is a free program for moms and dads. That one-on-one visitation, that extra support, being there for the mom for her appointments, if she's having any difficulties. As you know, we're always facing different health care issues with women getting proper prenatal care. So we're there for that support.
How can people learn more about it?
Well, they can call us at 201-8888, or they can go to our website at www.familyroadgbr.org. And then we also are on Facebook, Twitter, all the social media outlets. Come down to Calandro's. You got to thank Calandro's, because government this weekend and then next Saturday on Perkins.
Killing the game. Thank you, Dena.
Thank you.
Next week, we'll talk about the results of the midterm elections and get you set for Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend. Y'all be safe. See you next week on The Clay Young Show.